Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and we're back with another locals gameplay. As you can see by the mat, this is going to be the Eustass Captain Kid player playing versus Law. This was table one from last week's Friday tournament at Time Twister, the one that I did the locals vlog yesterday on. I thought it would be really cool to show how Law and Eustass Captain Kid play against each other, as I believe those are two of the best decks in the format, and seeing the two giants play off against each other is nothing but exceptional. I know that this Law player had to play a couple of Eustass Captain Kids on the way up, so he probably is very familiar with the matchup. So we'll go ahead and start it. All right, so looks like Law has won the die run. Law is going to go and start off first, going with Nami, one of the most important pieces of the Law deck. And starting it is fantastic. You're looking for Jet Pistols, Nico Robin, Chopper, Zoro, and 5-drop Luffy, right? Those are the best possible hits, and those are probably all hits. Maybe even Red Hawk. And he adds a round table. So, I did the editing process. I went ahead and put these cards. I didn't want to give it away, but he adds round table, which is something you cannot do. Round table is a supernova card. Passes it to the Eustass Captain Kid player, which goes ahead and Veggie passes. Now, starting off with a 1-drop blocker is really, really good versus Law because the cards that are really integral in the matchup are the Nekomamushi and the Izos. And if you can get them off of those specific cards, then you're in an advantageous position. So the Law player is going to go ahead and attack the Eustass Captain Kid and then play a Nico Robin and passing. And here we're going. The suspension cards really do make the matchup. So he's going to go ahead and play Nekomamushi, tapping the Robin, putting 2 on the leader, and going 7 at Robin. That's certainly going to be taken care of because that is too much combo power to really combo out. It's 4K, so it requires 2 2s or an assortment of 1s, and he tapped out, so there was no amount of events that could have saved him there. So it's back to the Law player's turn, and I do get a breather. A lot of talking that happened really, really fast. But yes, Nekomamushi, Izo, all these cards interact with the board and you don't give your opponent excess life are the really integral piece. And you're going to see how we summon Nekomamushi here. Nekomamushi is going to go ahead and, again, E card in the matchup is going to tap the other Nekomamushi. He chooses to interact with the Nami. And this is because the Veggie is there, right? The Veggie creates this point of interaction that the Law player is missing. So he's going to have to attack with the Nami to try to bait some cards from hand. See what he gets here. He probably is going to go ahead and fetch a 1K. He could have also let this Nekomamushi die. It doesn't really offer much as he seems to have pitched one in his hand anyways. And he's going to attack with his leader, and his leader is going to pitch out the blocker. He's just going to summon a Nekomamushi to pass. Now we're at 3 cards on Law player's side, trying to get to the game plan of getting to 5. And he's kind of struggling because of all these interacting points. Now that this Nami is suspended, guess what's going to happen? 1 Dawn onto the Neko, into the Nami. You can't afford to do it this way. He's going to go ahead and play Law. Law's going to do the little Dougie, bounce the Neko to summon the Neko, to suspend the Neko, to swing with the leader, and then we've lost 2 cards off our board, and we're back to square 1. Still haven't gotten to get anywhere but more than 3 cards on the Law player side, and we really can't get the ball rolling. But we do have the pistol. The pistol is going to be a really nice answer to the Law. And we also are aware of the fact that the Law player has the round table. And he shouldn't, but it is what it is. And he swings with the Neko. I do think this is a mistake, as now he creates a point of interaction. And grabbing another card to the Eustass Captain Kid player's hand, again, I believe that is another mistake. We do have to finish the game at some point, but if we are losing our board, and he's swinging at our board, and we're giving him more advantage, once he starts playing his big boss monsters, we're not going to be able to clear them. We're not going to have the power thresholds needed to get there if we continue to give him advantage. So the kid player playing excellent, swinging at the Nekomamushi, fantastic. And then I'm pretty sure he is at 8 Dawn on this turn since he went second. And I could just see a Big Daddy Eustass come down right here. He also has a bunch of other great cards in hand in terms of Momonosuke. I also see a Law. He has Paradise Waterfall, which is going to be a little nice surprise that we save for later. And we just see the A-drop here. The A-drop pass. I love this. Not suspending it because we can't really activate it. And at the same time, we don't really need to summon something on this turn anyways. So it's going to be a very difficult card for the opponent to out. We know he has the round table in hand, but he doesn't have the Nico Robin on board. So this is a good turn to really summon the A-drop and put some pressure. He goes ahead and swings 5 at face. Personally, I'm a little greedy. I would have let this hit go through and would have taken an extra draw to make it extra difficult to get through this Captain Kid. On the crackback, he plays the Law to bounce the Nekomamushi and chooses not to summon. And then he swings 5 with the leader, and then the leader gets the draw, right? So again, getting him more power and giving him a bigger grip is going to be much more difficult to deal with this A-drop on the crackback. Let's see what the Eustass Captain Kid player does. So he's now at the full 10 Dawn with the A-drop already set up on the board. He's already paid the mana up front. He's now going to reap the rewards over the course of a couple turns. He really wants to see a couple blockers in conjunction with this, but we'll go ahead and see 5 at the law. That's going to go ahead and rest, and I feel like that's just a mistake because now we can interact with it with our captain. We put 1 Dawn that it was going to have anyways. The Dawn is going to go at the law. He's going to play Radical Beam, which at this point, since we have too much life, only going to give us 2k and then another 2k. So we pitched 2 cards out of our hand just to save 1 life. Not sure how much that was worth, so he's going to go ahead and play Momo, play the law to bounce the Momo to play the killer, and then put a Dawn under the killer while leaving 2 Dawn up, threatening a Punk Gibson. Punk Gibson on top of this Eustass is insane, and we already saw that he had the Waterfall in hand, and the Waterfall is going to be coming in crazy here. So the green player completely baiting this out, so he's going to go ahead and he has the Neko, which we were aware of, that he bounced off the law. It's going to go ahead and suspend the killer, arrest it. And he's going to use the round table. So he's already used 6 Dawn. He's incorporated 6 Dawn. Now we're at a -2 on the Eustass Captain Kid. A -2 looks really nice, right? This looks like a very easy clear from our leader, from our law blocker, really anyone. He forgot that he just summoned that, but that's fine. Then he goes good on the green player being aware of that game state. He's down to 1 card in hand. So 1 card in hand, 3 Dawn up. Should be 4. Yeah, 4 Dawn up. He's thinking of how he wants to take care of this A drop, right? There is still a 6k blocker in the way that is preventing him from really pushing through. He's going to have to go attach 1, swing for 6, right? Force a card from the law player side, but he has the waterfall, so he'll block with the law, waterfall it to unsuspend it or unrest it, and now the game is just over. It is just, he's going to down. This kid player has punished the law player at every step of the way. Every single point of interaction that he's had, that he's been able to interact with him, the kid player has done an excellent job of pushing through it. He had 3 Dawn up still. He chooses to play 1 to go with the Bonnie. Bonnie potentially looking for a 1-drop blocker to finish off the turn, or some sort of supernova event, or maybe just another Bonnie. But we've now effectively rested our entire board into the late game versus green, right? We only have 1 card in hand. We are aware that it is a non-counter card, that he just added the law. So we just have to attack at the exact thresholds that our opponent has, whilst keeping a killer up so that he can interact with us on the following turn. He's going to go 6 on 6. Yep. Sure, that's fine. Nekomamushi really could have done there. I mean, Nekomamushi could have gone there too. He had the Neko to suspend the Neko, to kill the Neko, plays the Dawn on the killer, and now we're just going to outvalue him by playing this Yamato. I do think this Yamato is, much as I don't think it's a good card, he's kind of, he's kind of made me a believer. By summoning this Yamato, he always has pressure, so that any little card that the law player summons, such as this Nami, any weenie blockers or something like that, this Yamato is going to immediately just say test, and then you can just keep eating it with your hero, as well as your small creatures like Nekomamushi. That. So he's going to go ahead and summon the Nami, kind of the best top deck you could have had, right? Because you can play the Nami, play the Law to replay the Nami, and then we basically turned 1 card into 2 more cards while developing, so that's pretty nice. But I just think we're just too far gone in this. That Paradise Waterfall was back-breaking. I cannot, I don't know, like, focus enough how broken that was right there. He played into the round table because he had the out to it. It was really, really solid. Really good gameplay. So he's going to go ahead and swing for 8, but you really can't swing for anything higher than 8, so he goes ahead and blocks with the killer. The green player is aware of every card in hand. He returns the Nami to play the Zoro, chooses not to play the Nami, and then just passes the turn. Because if he plays the Nami, he can just activate Yamato. Even the Zoro, unfortunately, is just going to get Yamato'd, I believe. No, it's actually 2 or less, so it cannot. He's going to play Izo. Izo is going to go ahead and rest the Zoro. He's going to go Yamato at the Zoro. He chooses not to block, because if he blocks, he's going to lose his 6k blocker, and then he's in a really bad state. He's going to go 5. He can start turning on the gas now. We know that Nami is the last card in hand. So I think the only thing we need to play around is a jet pistol. So I would have really liked for him to put 1 Dawn under his law blocker before he went all out on this turn. But that's fine. Never punished. Love to see it. Yeah, we could have just 5'd him with the leader and didn't have to put 1 on the law, and then just kept going from there. And then passes the turn. Again, keeping 2 up for the Punk Gibson. He still has a blocker on board. And getting to 8 Dawn with only a 6 that's threatening on the board is just simply not enough. It really isn't. So we're just going to go ahead and play Nami here. Nami's going to go ahead and look at the top 5 once again. That's going to fetch us a Jet Pistol. Now, Jet Pistol, once again, really solid card here. He's going to go ahead and pistol away the Law Blocker, which is pretty good. But he's now tied up 5 Dawn. So he has 5 Dawn to play on his leader. Then he goes 5 at 8, and that's just a 2k plus a card. Or if he wants, just upon Gibson. Again, it's just the numbers just don't hit right. And if he puts the cards under the law, it's also inefficient because now he loses his blocker, putting him in, the range for lethal as well as points of interaction from the kid player. So we'll see what he chooses to do here. It's just a tough set of turns, honestly. The green player really had the nuts, as they say. So we're going to go ahead and see the Brook. Brook is going to go ahead and summon, put 2 Dawn under the law. Not sure where we're going with this. I don't really know what the last couple cards in his hand are. The only reason I would think of summoning the Brook as opposed to keeping it for combo, I mean, I think we're just in a lose-lose position, right? We summon the Brook to get closer to 5, or we keep it in hand and use it as counter. In both scenarios, we're really not getting to our game plan. I don't think this law has a single time jumbled, but it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and put 1 more Dawn. Now looking at 9k at 8k, that is just a 2k. And our opponent is 3 cards in hand with 2 Dawn up. And we just don't respect the Gibson. We can't afford to, honestly. So he's going to go ahead and swing in, get Punk Gibson. Punk Gibson's going to go ahead and suspend the Nami. The Nami's just a bigger threat because if we can remove it, he cannot keep recurring it. And that is the only form of advantage he has at this point. And he's going to go ahead and pay 1 for a Chopper, leaving 1 up. So noticing that he already played 1 Radical Beam, I would continue to play around Radical Beam now because now it's active. And we can afford to. We have so much Dawn and pressure. So we'll go Yamato, suspend the Chopper. The Izo went ahead and took care of the Nami. We'll go 8 at lead, and then winging for a bajillion, and then finishing it off with another bajillion. So if you guys liked that video, please make sure to go and leave a like. If you have any questions about any sort of the gameplay, any comments you want to go ahead and share, leave a comment down below. And as always, guys, if you haven't joined the Pirate Crew, please be sure to join the crew by subscribing. It would mean the world to me. So as always, guys, I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.